The recording's going now, Dr. Thomas.
All righty. Then we will bring to order the regular business meeting of August 20th, 2020 for the Lorraine Public Library System. If there are any members present that have a conflict of interest with today's agenda, please make it known. Hearing none, item 2020-069, approval of the minutes of the July 16th, 2020 meeting.
Do you want me to take roll before we start that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Badillo?
Aye.
Colonel Belanger, have you joined us yet? Ms. McClellan?
Present.
Ms. Sheeman?
Here.
Ms. Snipes, have you been able to join us yet? Ms. Torres?
Here.
And Dr. Thomas?
Here.
Thank you.
All righty. So we'll go back to the approval of the minutes of the July 16th. Tiffany is the first.
Millie, second.
Thank you. Anything on there that needs addressed? If not, we can do roll.
Okay, Dr. Badillo?
I'm going to abstain just because I wasn't at that meeting.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
Colonel Belanger? Ms. McClellan?
Yes.
Ms. Sheeman?
Yes.
Ms. Snipes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Dr. Thomas?
Yes. Item number 2020-070, that's approval of the fiscal's officer report.
Okay. So for July, the financial packet was included with your board packets. We had a cash balance at month end of $14,560,470. The cash balance in our operating funds was $10,573,585. And we had operating funds unencumbered was $9,372,142. The total unencumbered cash balances as of July 31st, 2020 was $12,647,253. The revenues for year to date are at $5,834,246, which is 54.4% of the estimated annual revenues without advances or transfers. Our expenses year to date are $5,232,233, which was 37% of the estimated expenses without advances or transfers. And then expense totals with encumbrances are $7,145,450, and that is 50% of the annual estimated expenses. So along with the July financials, I have a few other updates regarding fiscal matters. I did want to provide you all with an update on where we are at with PLF, as we did get some updates from the county. So the PLF revenue received for the month of August 2020 was 27.24% higher than what we received in August 2019. So that is definitely a plus. Overall for the year, PLF revenue is down from the beginning of the year by $160,608, and that's about 6.9% that we were estimating overall to be receiving. And that is due to, as indicated in previous months, just economic activity and a reduction in state tax receipts. Some other updates we got regarding PLF from the county auditor's office. They sent over a revised public library fund estimate for 2020. So as of July 17, 2020, the new estimate for the Lorraine Public Library is $4,039,000. $13,153, and that's down from the estimate that was given out on January 13th, 2020, of $4,344,758. So overall, it is a reduction of $331,605. The Lorain County Auditor's Office also issued their first entitlement estimate for the 2021 public library funds. So the overall PLF for Lorain County is estimated to be $8,465,591. So the difference between the 2020 estimate that was revised on July 13th and the new estimate is we're estimated to be down by $350,945 overall. So Lorraine's share of that is estimated to be $3,853,408, which is down from our 2020 estimate on July 13th by $159,745. And then lastly, I just wanted to give you all an update on where we stand with the FEMA Public Assistance Grant. So as you know, the library was going to submit a request for assistance related to COVID expenses from FEMA. So we're wrapping up pulling together all the document support that they are requesting for expenses, and I'm looking to have that request submitted in the coming weeks. We're not sure exactly how much we may be entitled to get, but I have submitted I will be submitting a request for all our expenses that we have currently incurred related to COVID and those that we have planned for the remaining 2020 year based off of POs we've created. And then lastly, there were no correspondences or public records requests for July. That is it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Erica? Okay, then can we have a roll just to accept the report?
Sure. Dr. Badeo?
Aye.
Colonel Belanger, have you been able to join us yet? Miss McClellan?
Yes.
Miss Sheeman?
Yes.
Miss Snipes, have you been able to join?
Yes.
Thank you and welcome. Miss Torres
Yes.
and Dr. Thomas.
Yes, thank you very much, and welcome, Monica. Glad you were able to get here. We will now go to the report of the director, Anastasia.
Hey. Hello, everyone. Again, I wanted to start off my report this evening with a couple correspondence or messages we've received from patrons. I thought they'd be a really good way for you to hear how things are going. So this first one is from a Books by Mail patron. So, dear friends, I'm now keeping records of the books I've read, which is 5 binders and 1 large binder for Harlequin. I'm so happy that I am getting books, as I am no longer driving and only leave my condo for doctor's appointments. In other words, since January to now, I've only been out 7 or 8 times. I truly appreciate all your efforts in getting books to me. Thank you. Sincerely, Juanetta K. Dudley. So I thought that was it's just nice. Like something we do all the time, but you see the extra value of that in times like this. So connecting with new people and just really making sure that we're getting them books. And obviously she's a voracious reader, so yay for that. And the second message I wanted to share with you is from a patron who used the little library on the lake. And I wish I could explain there's like a ton of exclamation marks in it. It's just really a great message. So, hello, good afternoon. I just wanted to take the time to give you and the little library on the lake in Lorain a compliment. What a great feat. I absolutely love that I could take a bike out with a library card. This was so great, especially riding the bikes by the lake. What a workout. I really hope that this continues for years to come. And in fact, I wish this was extended until the first snow. Congrats on an amazing program, and also you have an amazingly sweet staff. Thank you. So just 2 little things. We hear those anecdotes, but for someone to take the time to write that message, it's just a really good reminder of why we do what we do. So Yeah, so obviously like these challenging times, we can't provide the same kind of programming in the library. So I wanted to share with you a couple things. You may have seen them in the director's report, but just to kind of bring them out and highlight them a little bit. So the back to school census event that was at South and Maine was really well received. We reached a lot of families, just connected them with the library and with the census, which, you know, everyone knows is really important. And then at North Ridgeville, we've been partnering with Heart and Soul there, and they're doing a fresh produce pickup in the parking lot. And, you know, that might happen in other communities, but what's really interesting about this one is that this is actually highlighting and supporting farmers who are from North Ridgeville. These are farms in North Ridgeville. So it's a really nice way to support the community and also be another touch point for the library. People don't have to come in, but they can still, you know, be interacting with the library. And lastly, I wanted to share about the new service from Discovery on the Go. So Discovery on the Go, as you know, the whole point of that was to go to schools and daycares and interact with large groups of kids, and we can't do that right now. So what we are doing is we've turned it into a mobile hotspot, essentially. So we are driving around and parking in different places for 3 to 4 hours. And this just started this week, where we're working with LMHA and parking in some of the parking lots of their properties, and, you know, just offering Wi-Fi. So even though we can't do programming like we were doing, we're still, you know, extending those services out into the community. So this is just a few examples of the extraordinary creativity that staff is just amazing right now. And yay for that. And, you know, masks and social distancing are these constant reminders of our current situation. And, you know, we continue to provide our services safely, following guidance from state and local health professionals. But as you all know, as over these last few months, it's changed our operations, and we've had to divert several $100,000 into purchasing equipment, additional services, PPE, so we can continue to serve our public safely. So Erica was mentioning the FEMA grant that we applied for, and recently we were informed of the CARES Act funding that is specifically for public libraries, and that's what you're going to be considering later in the agenda. And this is wonderful because it's going to help us recoup some of those costs. And some of the things, even from, you know, just the PPE, those kind of masks and that kind of stuff, to the plexiglass, so even being able to help with those hotspot costs. So that's a really great thing. And we have really good news on that front. So we were among the first group of libraries. So as soon as that application portal opened, we were on it. So we submitted our application on Friday, and we heard from the OBM the other day that we're going to be among the first group of libraries to receive the grant money, which is why there's all those resolutions there. So you have to create the fund and be able to accept the money and then actually have a place to appropriate it. So just it's really exciting how that all came together. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share with you the excitement of being able to actually recoup some of that. So that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. There's been a lot of good things going on at the library. They were setting up in North Ridgeville today for the Heart and Soul, and they take 75 orders. They're $10 a piece, and the slots get filled so fast. It's unbelievable, and it's like clockwork down there. They go to your car, you either PayPal or you give them $10, and they put the bag right into your vehicle. And it's really good stuff. So I hope it goes to other cities. That's something that is really a blessing. Do you want to say anything, Anastasia or Rick, about our program of work? The program of work documented all?
Yeah, well, I could speak a little, yeah, I could speak on that. So as you know, you've already approved the carpeting has been ordered for Democus Branch, so that will be going in, we hope, I think in the next 6 to 8 weeks. And we've had someone come out and actually give us color recommendations, and that painting will be done by our own staff, which is something to help us save money. Well, maybe Rick, you want to speak a little bit about the Culinary Literacy Center and how that's wrapping up.
The Culinary Center is wrapping up. The final part to it was the Hood and Roger assisted us in bringing the electrician in to run cables down to our fire alarm panel to connect with it, so that we're hoping the week of the 31st that we should have all the utensils upstairs, and the counter should be clean, and the refrigerator polished, and we should be able to start moving forward with our culinary literacy center. So it really looks, I have to say, when you stand in that meeting room A and you look at that, it's very impressive. So I'm really excited actually to see it open.
Yeah, we had actually met with a local chef today to figure out how we could do programming with him. So it's going to open up a lot of doors. So the only other thing on the program of work is we're continuing on the library's website. So that work is going on. Our Rob from PR is working on the graphics, and we're working with Emerge on that. So those are the major updates on the program of work for the year.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you, Rick, and your crew for bringing this to fruition. It'll be fun to see the kickoff of however we'll do it in COVID land, but that we'll be able to do for that there. And it'll bring a lot of interesting programming eventually up there. What I'd like to do is be the people who sample it, not have to cook. Maybe we could do it on board meeting nights and we could get the samples of it. Hint, hint. Okay. The monthly stats were included in the board packet, and as we can see, a lot of things are down, but that's just because of the after effect of COVID and not being able to have the library open. Or if there's any questions, we can entertain them at this time. If not, we'll just move forward. Okay, we're going to move forward. There were no committee reports for this month. Under new business, we'll go into item 2020-071. This is the approval of the bank signatory.
So moved.
Tiffany, second.
Okay, any questions? Okay, go ahead, Erica, a roll call.
Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger, I believe you joined us.
Yes.
Ms. McClellan,
Yes.
Ms. Sheeman,
Yes.
Ms. Snipes,
Yes.
Ms. Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. Item number 2020-073, authorization to apply for the CARES Act Coronavirus Relief Fund, or CRF funds.
So moved.
Millie, second.
Second. Echo.
Okay, Erica, roll call.
Okay, Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Ms. McClellan,
Yes.
Ms. Sheeman,
Yes.
Ms. Snipes,
Yes.
Ms. Torres,
Yes.
and Dr. Thomas.
Yes.
And then I believe we skipped over 2020-72, so I think we have to go back to that one.
Oh, yes, I did do that. I was going too fast. Okay. So there were no questions on the other. We'll go to 2020-072, and that's the appropriations modification that's associated with that grant.
So moved. This is Keith.
Tiffany, second.
Just to clarify, this appropriations modification is for the State Library of Ohio CARES Act mini grant for $3,000. The bigger one for the coronavirus relief aid specifically for libraries will be later on in the resolutions.
Correct.
Are we good for roll?
Yes, please.
Okay, Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Aye.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. So we covered 72 and we covered 73.
Yes. So
So
we'll
we
be at
will-
74.
Yes, so we'll go up to 74, which is 2020-074, approval of the creation of the Corona Relief Fund, the CRF Fund.
So moved. Keith?
Millie, second.
Second.
Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Yes.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. Item number 2020-075, approval for the subscription to tutor.com. We need a first, please.
So moved.
Second.
Anastasia, do you want to say anything about this, tutor.com?
Yeah, so this is another way that we're shifting funds out of purchasing physical materials and moving resources towards things that are going to support the caregivers and parents that are going to be supporting their children learning remotely. And tutor.com I attached the brochure for it, but it's just got a lot of things besides the after school tutoring. It's got things like resume reviews. It's got they will actually review your term papers. So if you submit those things, so it's something that could be used by anybody who's in school and beyond school. So we're really looking forward to this. We think it's just a good time to provide a resource like this. Anytime we've provided things like lynda.com and Gale courses, they tend to be really well received, and we think this is just another part of that portfolio of education resources. So we're excited about it.
So,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Gloria.
okay, thanks. I just want to know, so is this through, like you said, K through 12 and beyond, or what's like do they, are they compatible with what's happening in the schools right now? Like, do they have some type of idea of what's going on and giving help with specific subjects, matters, or how does that work?
Yeah, so my understanding is that they do tutoring in different subject areas. So it's not going to be specific to like any one school district, but general help on different topics. And it's K-12, but then these other wraparound things they have, like with resumes and these term papers and things that college students might be using. So that's why we like it. It serves anybody wherever they are in that education process.
Is it like just videos, or are there actual people that these people?
Yes. Yeah, so there's actual, we have to sign up for a block of time, and we decided to do, I think, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day, I think it is, so that we figured that would be sort of like the after school time, and then late enough that, people who were going to be schooling their children later would have that resource as well. So it's during that time, and it's a live chat, and it's in English and Spanish. So our staff did a really great, they kicked the tires on this. Like they asked questions. They wanted to find out if it was actually going to be a good investment, and the staff overwhelmingly thought it was a great resource. So we're going to try it for a year and see how it goes. But I like the fact that it's live. I like the fact that you're interacting with the person. It's not just watching videos. It's, we'll see how it goes, but we know that other libraries offer this and it seems to be successful there. So I think that's good. I'm just excited to be able to offer something to support everybody who's going to become a teacher, who has become a teacher, of their children and is going to be continuing to do that. So I'm hoping it will really help with that.
Okay, so Anastasia, how will people know this is available in the hours and such? It's cool that you said 3 to 10. So how do people know that?
Yeah, so we're doing a multi-pronged approach, but besides just like putting it on the website, we're being really proactive. So we've reached out to the school districts, like specifically to their curriculum folks, their, you know, their administration, to market this to them. So I know in Avon, we're going to actually be, maybe in North Ridgeville too, but I know for sure in Avon, we're going to be doing like a little tutorial video for the teachers and, you know, and anyone else to be able to show them how it's going to work. So we've been really, I think that's our thing, is trying to get to the teachers who are going to be able to give this as a resource to the families that are out there. Besides just putting it on our website, we're also thinking, how do we pull all of these resources around education together and market them as a package? I think for sure right now, we really promoted tutor.com specifically to school districts as a resource.
And so probably Cheryl is into this stuff, but will be there some kind of metrics to show us like how the participation rate and such, like how well did people, and then segmented by teachers and kids or ages and stuff like that?
You know me so well, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't dug all the way into what the reporting is. I mean, I know we're going to get usage data. I'm not sure how specific that is as far as maybe subjects we might get. I don't know how much more specific it would go than that. But we'll probably get like, did they get resume help? Did they get this, you know, this, that, or the other? But,
cool, thanks.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's good.
Okay, if there are no other questions, then we'll take roll.
Okay, Dr. Badale,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Yes.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. Item number 2020-076, authorization to repair the driveway at the main library.
So moved. It's Keith.
Second, Millie.
And I think Rick is
If
still.
there are any questions?
Hey, Rick,
Yes.
just curious, how big a space is that? That's pretty inexpensive, it seems.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised. When we put it first out to bid last year, and the pricing came back kind of high, and then we had put it off. And when Erica came on board and we spoke to Lisa, we decided to get three quotes as per Anastasia, and the pricing came back a lot less. And I'm not sure it's because it's the end of the season, and everybody's hungry from what's going on with coronavirus and that. But I was really surprised how this one and the other one, Democus, came in price-wise. So.
Great price. I mean, hope it's good quality, but it's a good price. We'll find out at the end, right?
Yeah, actually, all three companies are Lorain County companies, and I've seen all their work. So, yeah, hopefully it holds up for quite a few years for us.
Yeah, good stuff.
It is a great price, and I'll say that we have also been quoting asphalt jobs as well as the county metro parks, and pricing has been coming in great. They're hungry for business right now, so I would expect the quality will turn out great. Just they're quoting really
good.
well.
It's good to hear.
Okay, roll call.
Dr. Badale,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Yes.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. Item number 2020-077, disposal of surplus property.
Millie, so moved.
Tiffany, second.
If
I'm
it's
just, how do we dispose of all this furniture? What's
Well, I'm
our
glad you
process?
I'm glad you asked, because with these particular computers, it's actually fortuitous because the Community Foundation with PCs for People is doing a collection of equipment, used equipment that they're going to refurbish and give to students. So it just seemed to line up really well. So the computers at least are going to be taken to that. It's happening in Avon Lake on the 27th. So it'll be really nice for these to get another life. So for sure that. And Rick, I'm not sure about the office chairs, where those are going, but.
I usually call a few churches there in Lorraine and ask them if they want them, or if they can use them. And usually someone comes forth, or the bilingual school, or the harvest school, or a kindergarten on the east side of Lorraine. So they go back to use for someone, and actually they're in pretty decent shape. They're just aged. These chairs probably have 15 to 18 years on them in that. And as for in the past with the computers, we take them to the county, and the county disposes of them, like with our lamps and that, and paint and so on there in Elyria.
Thanks.
Okay, roll.
Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Yes.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. Item number 2020-078. This item refers to the selection of the most qualified firm to provide design professional services, and the board will authorize an agreement for such services for the Avon Branch Library project.
So moved, Monica.
Second, Keith.
Okay, so we have selected Keith and Tiffany to represent the board on the selection committee, along with Roger, Rick Guerrera, Cheryl, and Anastasia. I was able to sit in on a few. And so I'm going to turn this over to Keith and Tiffany to give you a little background on the selection process and who the committee felt was the actual best and most qualified firm. There were many very good ones that had put in bids for this, but I'm going to let those two address the board on that process and their recommendation.
Tiffany, you want to go? We just did we get, so I'm not sure if we sent out a lot of information. Did everyone have access to the Dropbox and all?
Mhm.
Yes.
So did many of the board members have a chance? If you had a chance, there was really some complete packets from, I think, how many people? 8 or 9?
There were 9 who submitted.
So there were 9 submissions, and we as a group came down to these 4, and we had some criteria that was that's been presented on the Dropbox as well. I think some of the key criteria, what was it? Knowledge of the local area, working with Avon and such, working with our library. What were some of the other criteria that we used, Tiffany?
Yeah, we were looking at the experience of the firm, the location of the firm. We wanted to make sure that they were in the area. We were also looking at the team that they put together on the firm and the experience of the members, experience of the firm in correlation specifically with the library design as well. I think those were the main criteria that we were focused on selecting, and that's how we came down to a short list, which is the 4 firms that if you're looking at your agenda, you'll see those are the 4 firms that we shortlisted and brought in for interviews.
That's right. Yeah, and communication, I think, was another one that we thought was important for our group as well. They were all of these presentations were actually phenomenal. They were very, very well prepared, lots of experience. For me, I learned a lot, just the fact that there's so many architects in our country, in Northeast Ohio, that are experienced in libraries. It was pretty neat to see.
Mm-hmm.
Did we decide on who we chose or we recommend for the board?
Yeah, so today we are recommending the selection committee after the interviews, GPD Group to be selected as the design firm for this. And I think some of the key takeaways, not only did they have a great presentation coming in, they really stood out in that regard. They brought an A team to the presentation. The project manager was fantastic, and I think that was a real big key to keep in mind, that The project manager is the individual that, Anastasia, Rick, and Cheryl will be working with daily for the next year and a half here. So the project manager was great, very well tuned into libraries. He's actually a trustee on another library as well. So as well as just their ability, and they were very tuned into the Avon community. They were very focused on the fact that they wanted to listen and learn what the community wanted, and were willing to change as many times as necessary to make sure that they got it right, and that not only the community was happy, but we were happy as well. So I think that they have a great team, not only the specific team that they're bringing to the forefront with the project manager, but they have a great team behind them as well. They have a lot of in-house staff individuals, which is really good for this kind of firm. So overall, I think that they're a great recommendation for us to move forward.
Roger, would you like to add anything to this? Along with Keith and Tiffany, is there anything you would like to add, or any of the other members on the committee?
I just think that I was very happy about the process and the amount of interest that we had. We received 9 different submittals, and I think the 4 that committee shortlisted did a great job in the interview process, which was great for us to see, because we made good selection in the short list, and it was pretty. I think it was not a tough decision, but all 4 firms did well, and it was quality presentation. So I was very pleased with the process and where we ended up.
Okay, thank you. It was great to ask you questions. I think as such an experienced person as yourself with all phases of this, are there any questions from board members for our committee members before we vote? Okay. So what is before you then is essentially this resolution where the library system will select the GPD group as the top selection for the professional design services for the project of the Avon Branch Library. And if there are no other questions, then we will take roll. Okay, Erica, roll please.
Okay. Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Ms. McClellan,
Yes.
Ms. Sheeman,
Yes.
Ms. Snipes,
Yes.
Ms. Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. And I would like to commend the committee thus far, because they're really clicking on all cylinders and really working pretty thoroughly and efficiently through this process. So it's very impressive to see this. Moving on to item 2020-079, this is authorizing a memorandum of understanding with Hope for the Future's Farm program. And this was the one that was going to be at South Branch that Anastasia talked to us about at the last meeting. We need a first, please.
So moved.
Tiffany, second.
Ethel, second.
Okay. Anastasia, would you just like to remind everybody what this is? Just in case.
Yeah, so we have a kitchen, so we have to have the food to put in the kitchen. So we're gonna have these 2 micro farm situations popping up at Main and South Branch. So we're very excited to be partnering with El Centro and Lorain County Public Health and Hope for Futures. We already have a great working relationship with them. We haven't even started yet. So I think everyone's just in total agreement about the outcomes, the positive outcomes. This is not just to do something. This is actually about positive outcomes for the community, whether that's nutrition or learning about food. I mean, there's just a lot of great, and produce and food. So I think I'm very, very honored that they approached us. I think we're going to be all really happy when this goes together. And Alex from Hope for Futures told me that, as soon as you let me know, it's just going to be a couple days and we can get this thing going. So, he keeps telling us this. Rick, we all went and looked at they said, all we need is a host connection. So that's what they're telling us they need to get going. So as soon as those things are up and running, obviously I'm going to invite y'all to come and look at them. But it's going to be great. So Rick, do you have anything to add about the water or how that's going to go? Or
yeah, for South, it's going to be a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. We're the only thing is we're waiting on Oops to come mark the property. There's a fiber line that we want to verify before we can put the line underground in that. But other than that, it's going to go along the driveway. I don't know if everyone's aware where the dumpster sits on the northeast corner of the library, along that strip of grass along the east side between the old St. John's rectory and the library. That's where it'll sit. And they have a pretty amazing garden the way they do it. It's like a sock that they put above ground, and they just lay it out there and poke holes in it and put the seed in it and put some water lines across it. And it's all controlled by Bluetooth. They can see how much water they're using by their smartphones. They can increase pressure. All we have to do is provide them with a water line. So it's pretty neat or innovative the way they came up with this. So.
Hey, Rick, I have a question.
Yes.
So is this like community participation, or are they going to be working on it and then they're just going to be providing the produce then to the library or patrons? What's the whole setup? How does that work?
Well, I'll turn that over to Anastasia. Anastasia knows more about that as far as their volunteers, I believe, or students.
Yeah, they're actually going to they've got money from the city of Lorraine to set 2 of these up. And part of that is going to be, they're hiring students, like high schoolers, to actually work on the farm. So they have a farm manager from the Ohio State Extension program. So she's going to manage both of those things. And then she's going to be teaching those kids how to actually do the farming on this micro farm. So it's the actual working of the farm itself. It's different than a community garden. So that's sort of a totally different thing. This is really set up to be a farm. It's going to give produce out. So the produce itself is going to be used as part of programming. So it'll be given to the community, but then part of it will be about teaching people about all of these different vegetables that are coming out of this garden. And we have the Charlie cart at South, and we'll have the kitchen at Main Library. So it'll be nice to have those things as part of it. So it's a little bit different than a community garden. I mean, not that the community is not welcome to come and look at it, but it's not really meant for like the library staff or just like the neighbors to come in and garden.
Okay, so I have another question then. Does this, is this going to be a year-long thing, or is this just for the summer months of like 3 months and then it's done? Or are they going to have like some type of, I don't know, some way to do it in colder weather?
Yeah, they're going to do essentially hoop houses. So they're going to do, so the way that this is supposed to go is for 9 months out of the year, they have a growing season. So they can get, because when we said to him, well, gosh, it's going to be almost September by the time we get this going. Is there like, what are we going to do? And he says they can go all the way through December because they'll have, they're going to put covering over it, and then they'll start up again in March. So that's how they've explained it to us, and Rick and I went and checked out what it looks like where they have the one now at the Church of the Open Door. And there's one over in Avon Lake as well. And it's a pretty efficient use of space and water. There's really not a lot of waste involved in it. And we kind of like the fact that it sits on top of our property. So we're not digging up a bunch of things. We're not displacing property. Like it can sit on top of, if it gets south, it'll be on a strip of grass. But the one I saw at the Church of the Open Door was just sitting on asphalt. And I think the one at Main Library will probably put over by the Lutheran Church property. So that's just going to be sitting on top of
asphalt as well.
Yeah, asphalt. So that I think is an upside as well. So we're not going to be digging up our property to do this either, which I think is kind of like for us, I'm like, oh, this seems like too good to be true, but it's going to be good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And I should say the MOU that you're approving, that's all of that stuff is spelled out in there. We checked about insurance. So if anything happens, we're covered. So there's really not any liability for us either. I think, we're just going to look at that every year, like with other MOUs, and just make sure that we're all still, happy with the way it's going. But I get a good feeling. I mean, when the health department and El Centro are involved, that tells me that it's going to be a good thing. So.
Can I add also, Anastasia and I met with the mayor a few weeks back, and Mayor Bradley had mentioned that he is going to talk to Mercy for their kitchen to try to accept some of this produce also, which I think is great for the hospital setting.
Okay, well, that sounds like a very interesting, that's my way to garden, I think.
Other people's vegetables.
Okay, Erica, roll call.
Sure. Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
I'm excluded.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes. Item number 2020-080, authorization to resurface the parking lot at Demoncus branch.
Tiffany, so moved.
Keith,
Millie,
second.
second.
Okay, if there are no questions, we'll do roll call.
okay. Dr. Badillo,
So moved.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Yes.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. Item number 2020-081. This is approval to renew property liability, fleet, and crime insurance coverage for the period September 15th, 2020 through September 15th, 2021 to the Ohio plan managed through Highland Administrative Services for a total premium of $37,753.
So moved.
Second. Keith.
If there are no questions, Erica?
Okay. Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Aye.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. Item number 2020-082, this is the appropriation modification to for the federal COVID relief grant. That was the grant up to $150,000.
So moved.
Second, Monica.
Hearing no questions, we'll go to the roll.
Dr. Badillo,
Aye.
Colonel Belanger,
Yes.
Miss McClellan,
Yes.
Miss Sheeman,
Yes.
Miss Snipes,
Aye.
Miss Torres,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas.
Yes. The next meeting will be a regular meeting of this board on September the 17th at 5 p.m. And for right now, we're planning on streaming via YouTube. I would like to just a gentle reminder, after our board meeting is over, the Library Trustee Development and Nominating Committee will meet just for about 5 minutes, and the chair is Dr. Badillo, and Monica Snipes and Millie Torres are the members of that committee, and we'll just have a brief update at that time. Are there any other items brought before the board? Okay, hearing none, I know that our team that's working on the building project